Hey, if you're an iOS dev, you know that first impressions are everything, right? But what about all those little moments in between the screens? Today, we're going to break free from the boring default transitions. I'll show you how to master custom segues to build apps that people actually remember. So let me ask you this. Are you just tired of the same old slide and push animations? You know the ones. If you want your app to feel special, to really stand out, a generic UI just isn't going to cut it. So what's the answer? We've got to go beyond the default stuff. By creating your own transitions, you can inject your brand's personality right into the user experience. This makes your app not just work well, but feel delightful. Let's dive in and see how it's done. And this is where the custom segue comes in. So what exactly is it? Well, put simply, it's a transition between two screens that you get to design. I love this analogy. Think of your app as a house. A standard segue, that's just a plain, boring door. A custom segue, that could be a revolving bookshelf or a grand, sweeping staircase. You're the architect here. And this is where you really take the driver's seat. You're not stuck with Apple's defaults anymore. You can completely override them, write your own animation logic from the ground up, and control every single pixel of how a new screen makes its big entrance. It's all about control. Okay, so how do we actually build one of these things? It might sound kind of intimidating, but I promise you're going to be surprised at how straightforward it is. Let's walk through it step by step and create our first custom transition. You know, it all boils down to just 3 core steps. Seriously. First, we create a new subclass in our code. Second, we tell the storyboard to use our new class. And third, we just trigger the segue. That's it. That's the whole shebang. All right, step 1 is all about the code. We're going to create a new Swift file with a class that inherits from UIStoryboardSegue. And really, all the magic happens inside one single method, perform. So, inside that perform method, the first thing we need to do is get our bearings. We need to know where we're coming from and where we're going. So we grab a reference to our source and destination view controllers. Then we add the destination's view right on top, kind of setting the stage for its big reveal. Now, this next part, the uv.animate block, this is your creative playground. In this little example, we're just animating the alpha property to create a simple fade-in. But you could animate the position, the scale, the rotation. I mean, literally anything you can dream up, you can do it here. And finally, when that animation is all done, the completion block gets called. Think of this as our cleanup step. We just remove that temporary view we added and then formally present the destination view controller. This ensures a really nice, clean handoff and finishes the transition. Okay, with the code all written, we can move on to step 2, hooking it up to the storyboard. And this part is super easy. Just click on the segue that connects your 2 view controllers, pop over to the identity inspector, and in the class field, type in the name of that Swift class you just made. Boom, that's it. Your code is now officially linked to your UI. And for our final step, we just have to trigger it. And you've got 2 main options here. For the simple stuff, you can just control drag from, say, a button directly to the next screen in your storyboard. Easy. But if you need a bit more control, maybe you need to check some conditions first, you can give that segue an identifier and then call it from your code using perform segue with identifier. So now you know how to build one. But to really become a pro, and honestly, to debug things when they go wrong, you need to understand what's happening under the hood. You see, every segue has this kind of secret life cycle. Let's walk through this timeline together. It all kicks off with instantiation. That's just when the segue object is created. Now, this next step is super important, so pay attention. Prepare for sender gets called. This happens before your animation even starts, which makes it the absolute perfect place to pass data to the next screen. Only after that does our custom perform method run its animation, followed by the final presentation and completion of the whole transition. Okay, so now you have this really powerful new tool in your developer arsenal. The key, though, is knowing when to use it. It's not always the right answer for every situation, so let's figure out its sweet spot. And here's the key distinction you need to remember. For those straightforward, unique animations that are driven from your storyboard, a custom segue is absolutely perfect. It's low complexity, it's easy to implement, and it gets the job done beautifully. But if you need something way more advanced, like a fully interactive, gesture-driven transition, you'll probably want to level up and explore a more powerful API like View Controller Animated Transitioning. So the crucial point, the big takeaway here is this.
Custom segues are your go-to for adding that extra layer of polish and brand identity. They're perfect for unique, storyboard-driven animations, all without getting bogged down in a ton of unnecessary complexity.
So there you have it. You now have the tools and the knowledge to create basically any transition you can dream up. The only question left is, what amazing, unique transition are you going to build first?